Hi, and welcome to a series of videos from PowerChair Toronto in our video blog series. Today's video is going to be a how-to video on some tips and tricks for online registration for class programming. All right, in order to get started, you're going to head to www.powerchairtoronto.com, and that's our website. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a number of options, and the one we're talking about today is online registration. So go ahead and click on there. Once you do that, this window will pop up that says Parent Login. You're going to click on that and that'll take you to the iClass Parent Portal. Alright, once the Parent Portal loads, you're going to need to know a couple things. The first thing is the email address that you provided at registration. In this case, we'll be using our info@powerchairtoronto.com, as well as the password for that account. Once you enter in that information, you'll go ahead and click Login. For those of you that do not currently have an account or have issues with your password, we'll be covering on how to rectify that in a future video. So go ahead and click Login. Once you press Login, it's going to bring you up to the class listings that are currently available at PowerChair Toronto. This is going to list all the current and future classes, and it's quite a long list, so we're going to talk to you about a couple ways you can make it easier to understand. Across the top, you'll see the filters bar. The first one is ages. Next, we have gender, programs, session, days, and finally level. The ages, gender, and level filters are not going to be very useful to you, so I don't recommend using them at all. The most important one we're going to talk about is the session filter. The session filter is what you will use to limit the classes to show you only what is available in a specific session. So for example, our next session that is coming up is the 2012 Tumble Spring session. So if we click on that and apply that filter, we're going to see that it's only going to show the classes that are available for that session. In this case, the only one we have in there is this test class, just for the purposes of this video. If we return that to the normal, we'll also look really quick at what the other two important filters do. The days filter is pretty self-explanatory. We can filter all the classes in programming by a specific day that the class is offered, and programs allows us to choose specific programs within our gym that you may be interested in. The main ones would be group skills classes, group tumble classes, or private lessons. So let's go back and filter for session 2012 spring tumbling. And that's going to bring up once again this test class. Alright, so once the test class pops back up, we'll talk really quickly about what's shown here. First of all, it's saying that test class has openings, that the schedule for this class is Thursdays from 4 p.m. until 4:30, and the price for the session will be $300. If we go over here and click more details, it's going to bring up a window that also shows that the instructor for this class is CJ Pugh, and also talks about what the class is about. And in our normal classes, this is also where you would see a schedule of classes and also any classes that'll be canceled. So it's important that you look at this window to make sure that you can make all the available classes in any given session. You can go ahead and close that. If you're happy with this class, you're going to go over here and click Enroll. Once you do that, it's going to bring into the student or the choose student window, and we're going to go through and look at our pop down and pick our student. In this case, we only have one, PCT Cobra. If you had multiple siblings in our system, you would have to choose which of the student you wanted to register. The session we're registering for is already populated here, 2012 Tumble Spring session, so we don't have to touch that. And this box is where we will communicate anything you'd like the registration folks to know. So if we're going to be missing classes, if there's issues with anything at all, this is a good place to type it so that it can be communicated prior to us accepting your enrollment. If everything looks good, you're going to go ahead and click Verify Enrollment. That's going to bring up this kind of summary page. It's going to say that you're applying for test class Thursday 4 to 4:30. It's going to give the name of the student, the start date and end date of the session. Please note that these dates may not be the actual start date of your class. You need to make sure you verify that in the class info, but this just indicates the session as well as the total cost for the session before tax. If you had written a message, it would pop up down right under here. If everything looks good, you're going to go ahead and click Complete Enrollment. Once you do that, it's going to bring you to this enrollment request successful screen. It says here, thank you, your enrollment request is complete, and you should receive an email confirmation shortly. Once you get to this page, an enrollment request has been sent to us. Okay, if you do not get this screen, then the enrollment was not successful, and we need to go ahead and do it again. If you are unable to get to this screen for any reason, it will mean that you have not enrolled. So it's important that you get this far in the process. Once you have done that, an email will be returned to you, usually within 24 to 48 hours. Okay, once you've done that, you can go ahead and look for other classes, view the current enrollments for your file, and that pretty much sums it up for some tips and tricks to make the iClass Parent Portal registration nice and easy. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more updates coming soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.